Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. First off, I want to say thank you. Thank you to every single one of you that loved my first ever YouTube video, that subscribed, that shared, that commented, that found that information helpful. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. Keep encouraging me. Share the love. Let's get into it. My name is Oiza Sadiq, and on this platform is where I share my experiences, life as an immigrant navigating corporate America, my love for travel and perfumes, and my passion to help individuals and businesses grow. I do hope you find something exciting, something fun, something educational, informative while you're on this channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, just to get updates and notifications from me, okay? Okay, let's get into it. So, I've moved continents. I've moved three continents. I've moved from Nigeria to the United Kingdom and now to the United States. And I had a lot of support. I had a lot of support from my company. I had a lot of support from friends. I had a lot of support from colleagues. I also wasn't a first time, immigrant. I've done this to the UK and I was doing it to the US as well. But one thing that I wish I knew was just having checklist of things I needed to do or hit the ground running on day one. And that's what I want to share today. So here are 7 things I wish I knew on day one to hit the ground running. Number 1, social security number, SSN. If there's anything you want to do to hit the ground running on day one, it's your social security number. The thing is, I learned here in America, you can't do anything without your social security number. You want to get a house, you want to get a bank account. Some banks would allow you to do it because I eventually got a bank account, but it is never easy to do that. So you really want to get your social security number when you move, because this is where, if you're like me, getting in my benefits or getting registered into the system, getting on like housing, getting a bank account, all of those things, I needed the social security number to do it. So if you're like me, you want to hit the ground running and get settled in so you can have time to get on your new job, I would definitely say book your appointment to get a social security number, perhaps on day 2, just after you drop your bags. Number 2, get a local mobile number. Yeah. So again, I wasn't a first time mover. I had a UK number that I was roaming with. I wasn't like stranded, whether that was phone calls. But one thing I realized is that here in America as well, when people ask for your digit, they're not looking for an international number, especially when you start to look for you're trying to like get apartments and you start to call agents, or you're trying to just like register your account. Like this is sort of like your digital identity. Like, get a local number. It will be super helpful when people are talking to you, or when people need to reach you, when you email house like agents, or you email you start searching for apartments, they want to have your digits. Like, even when you go apply for a social security number as well, I can't remember actually, you probably want to provide your phone number. So just make sure that you get one as soon as possible while you're there. Number 3, get a bank account. Okay? Get a bank account. Start the process. And see, the first 2 things I mentioned, some of them are like intertwined. This is like, in fact, this is actually like a catch-22, where you need a bank account to receive money, put money into it, get an apartment, yada yada yada. But you also need a social security number to get a bank account. And you need a permanent housing address or a housing address to get a bank account. But to get a house, you need the social security number and all this interesting stuff. So it's sort of like very intertwined, which is why I wish I knew all of these things. So make sure that you, number 1, get your social security number. Number 2, get a phone number. And once you've done that, you want to immediately get a bank account. One of the things I really found out, which was actually, I think it was a bit of shock for me because, coming from Nigeria, I could understand that, okay, maybe the system versus that of the UK or the United States didn't really blend. But I thought, it would be easier moving from the UK to the US. It wasn't, right? Again, the US rather does not really care about your international history. So even though I had a credit score, I had like, bank accounts in the UK, it didn't matter. I needed an ID. I needed the US ID to be able to get a bank account. I didn't have the US ID. I needed a utility bill or something that showed like my address to be able to get a bank. I didn't even have a house. So what was I supposed to do? And thank goodness that I insisted. I had support from the company as well to get a bank that I could open a bank account with without a social security number. So it's such an interesting, like, everything goes back to one, which is for you to get a social security number. But this is just such an interesting dynamic where, like, you start to struggle when you don't have one or the other. And sometimes, like, you go into a place, you're asking for an ID. There were even places where they did not take my international ID. I Yeah, I was surprised myself. So I literally had to go everywhere with my passport because that was the only thing that people were going to receive. And even at that, I needed a secondary ID to be able to do those things. So it's very important that you start to like get a bank account, because also that's where your money is going to come in. That's where the company is going to pay you. So if you don't have a bank account, what are you going to do? Get a bank account. And we'll talk about, like, some of the culture shock that came with experiencing the financial institution here in the US versus back home in Nigeria, which was like very interesting. But yeah, that's a different topic for another day. And the fourth thing is, how I said get a bank account. So it doesn't really happen on day one, but you actually need to hit the ground running when you start. And so it is very, very important that you have cash with you. At least have 1 month's supply of cash for rent, bills, or I don't know, maybe that is accommodation, for feeding, all of those stuff. Have cash with you. I had a bit of cash with me, but I needed to make so much payment. My first rent cost me so much money because I didn't have a social security number. I didn't have a bank account. They didn't trust me that well. I had to pay 1 month equivalent what of what guarantor or whatever it was to be able to get an apartment, and it was a lot of money. 1 month's rent as security deposit, another 1 month rent, and then another 1 month rent, the equivalent for a third party guarantor. That was a lot of money that I did not plan to spend. And I was also spending my credit card, my international credit card, and the sterling fees was stellar. You heard me. So you want to have cash to a large extent so that you're not stuck paying £2,000 plus sterling fees. That happened to me. So try as much as possible to have cash in hand. Number 5 is talk to people. Just talk, talk, talk. To be honest with you, I feel like this is one thing that I should have done well, because I had people. This wasn't a thing. I was overwhelmed. I just wanted to take things slow, one at a time. But then by the time I got into like the weeds of it, I was like, I should have spoken to this person. And I did speak to some people. I just felt like I should have done more of it. Leverage the people that you know. Tell a friend to ask a friend who knows someone in the city that you're going to. For me, I didn't know anybody other than my colleagues. I had no family, no friends in the United States. I only just had the job and the people that I was going to meet, that some of whom I've interacted with on a work basis. So talking to people helped me discover a lot of things. Like, girl, that social security number is important. Go get it quickly. Or, girl, actually, this is a place that I would stay, or this is where I wouldn't stay. All of these things, um, I would have known earlier if I just even deepened my engagement and asked people a lot of questions. If you're like me and you want to settle quickly, this is number 6. StreetEasy is your friend. All of this online platform for house searches or apartment searches, they are your friend. One thing that was interesting is that things move super fast in this country. Things move super fast. You can actually find a house today, pay for it tomorrow, and plan to move in next week. That's how fast it is. But also, I realized, hear this, there are seasons. I moved to New York City and I moved in the summertime. And that meant that a lot of people were looking for apartments. Some apartments were like going, and some I didn't have the qualification to get in. They needed a credit score, they needed my social security number, they needed so many things that I did not have, and it was such a struggle. But it's better for you to start looking early. Facebook is also your friend. I actually found out that people use Facebook quite differently here. I don't use Facebook, so I didn't realize it, but I got like a couple of feedback, like, oh, if you're looking for apartments, like check Facebook, check groups, you find people that are doing this. People use Facebook a lot here, which was for me a bit of a shocker. So if you're like me and you are looking also to get an apartment quickly and just settle in, make sure that you're to connecting with people, checking StreetEasy, have an understanding of the things that you want in your apartment. You get a sense from people, which area are they living, what are they doing, where are they going, what are they choosing. Like, for me, it was important that I was close to the subway that took me to my office. It was important that I had some peace and quiet. It was important that I was removed from the chaos as well. So find out what is important for you and use that to start to figure out where you want to live. Make sure you factor in the rent, monthly rent, and the bills as well. And we can talk about the money aspect of this in another video, but it can get really expensive real quick, especially when you are in cities like New York, which is where I was. And then finally is you will be caught between settling down quickly at work, settling down in the city, settling in, meeting people, knowing the city that you live in. It is very important that you choose you. It is very important that you take it one step at a time. It is very important that you go at your own pace. Depression from relocating is real. The loneliness is there. The overwhelming nature of it is there. And you really want to give yourself grace to really do these things one at a time. For me, I got like almost overwhelmed from people being so kind to me, actually wanting to help, trying to connect me, trying to take me out. And then there was me trying to settle into a new job. There was me trying to settle into the chaos of the city. And there was me just feeling like I needed my space. It's very important that you choose you. Give yourself grace. Maybe people don't talk about this enough, but it is no easy feat to move continents, to move countries, to move cities. It takes a lot, and it takes even more when you do it as an adult. So take your time, one step at a time, to get to where you need to get to. And it will be fun. Social security number, I remember wanting to get an apartment and I lost it because I did not have a social security number. They were like, oh, we need your credit score, we need da, we need this. Yo, I was new to the system. An interesting thing is, even though I had a credit history in the United Kingdom, it did not matter. It did not matter. The US does not care about your international history. Can they find you in the US? Can they find you locally? Do they have an account with a bank here in the US? If you don't have that, it becomes like a bit of a challenge. So make sure that you have your social security number.